I'm recording this from the very beginning, dude.
Shit, I've got a hat on. I'm bald. Fuck.
Oh,
I was in the sun.
oh, bless your
Actually,
heart.
quite comfortable with it on. That might be a better look. I don't know. I look like a proper redneck. I got my goatee, got my Mustang t-shirt, got my cap on.
Actually, Mustangs are like seen as like, you know, affordable supercar.
I fucking love Mustang. I really want one.
Mm-hmm.
I want an S550 V8.
You ready?
Hey? Yeah, do it. Look, I've got an interview at 2:00, so let's crack on.
All right. Well, let's talk about
Nice
interviews then. How have you prepared for your interview?
I haven't. It's in my diary. I'm going to talk to them. I don't really want the job. Not true. Okay. Well, partially true. Right. Here's the thing, right? And this is a conversation for another time. Difference between contracting and permanent jobs. I don't really want a permanent job. This is a permanent job. I don't really want to have to go to an office and commute at the moment. New world. They seem to want someone in the office every day. So
Why is that not appealing?
COVID. I don't like commuting. I have a home office.
Yeah.
I'm a cloud engineer. All I'm going to do is take this laptop.
Yeah.
I'm looking at now. Instead of opening it in my office, I'm going to get in the car. I'm going to drive down the M4. I'm going to get sworn at. I'm going to do some swearing. I'm going to burn fuel. I'm going to get miserable. I'm going to lose time. I'm going to add stress. I'm going to get to their office. Some arsehole's going to look at the clock and go, "You're 3 minutes late," as I walk past their desk.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Nice to see you. Nice of you to join us. All that passive aggressive shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to open the same fucking laptop to do the same fucking job. Commuting's old fashioned. No one. Why do that? Commuting should have gone out with the invention of the internet.
Well, that's the thing that I'm finding, right? Is because, I'm seeing people advertise jobs 100% remote for doing leadership roles, DevOps, whatever, for like $100,000, and then there's another job, probably more or less the same thing. Actually, for $80,000, I've seen these jobs advertised for like $20,000 less, and then for people to go into the office, and it's like, well,
and this
because
job is even less than that. I say less. It's still a good salary, but yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're getting at.
So it's just like, why would people be looking? Because then that makes the competition hot, doesn't it? You're going to be able, if you got people who are advertising jobs at $100,000, 100% remote, why would you want to go into the office? You would just wait until the next job advertised at $100,000.
It's not always want. I mean, I will fully agree and appreciate that there are roles, and in the IT world and in the cloud technology world, where it's necessary to go into an office. You've got team collaboration is better face to face when you've got people in a room. We know that. Zoom gets around that. I haven't seen you in over a year, but we collaborate all the time.
True.
We haven't seen physically. Yeah, physically, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But you have systems that are air gapped, for example. Okay, you've got to go in and do that. If you have physical infrastructure, you need to go and see. Fine. I don't really want to work with physical infrastructure though. So, point. But yeah, that's my point. So why don't I particularly want this job? They've got the policy of you need to be in the office. Maybe I'll get a day a week remote.
Yeah.
The salary is okay. It's not amazing. The location's all right. It's about as far as I would want to drive in fact, no, it's further than I'd want to drive every day. It's about as far as I would be prepared to drive every day.
How long you want to drive?
It's got to be less than an hour.
Yeah.
Each way. 2 hours of my day, which used to be the old normal. I mean, it's a lot of time. I have kids now, right? When I was 20, I didn't have kids. And, all I had to do was go to work, have a bit of a social life. It didn't really matter so much if I got into what you're supposed to do, the 9 to 5 grind, the commute. But the commute is horrible. The commute is expensive. The commute is dangerous because, I've been crashed into on my commute twice.
Yeah.
Trains get blown up from time to time, True.
Major
they
delays.
Get stuck. It snows, the wrong type of leaves are on the track. I don't know,
Rains too much.
Some arsehole puts a backhoe through a water pipe and a road shuts. I've got to go down the M4 to get from where I am to where I would go. And they're turning it into a smart motorway, which they've decided are more dangerous than normal motorways. So they're not going to do them anymore, but they're still doing this one. Don't start me on that. you know, it's just, even before it was a broken motorway with a speed limit all the way down it, a low speed limit, it was still deeply unpleasant.
Yeah.
You know, so why don't I want to do it? I don't want to commute. Who wants to commute? If I had a job where I had to commute, I might, you know, be a bit more flexible on it. I might be a bit more willing to do it. But I'm a cloud engineer. Like I say, I'm going to, you know, we work with Azure. I'm going to open this laptop and log into portalazure.com and do stuff.
Yeah.
I
What
can
I
do that
find
here.
really annoying is that you work, you end up being more efficient at home, assuming if you got like a home office or some sort of dedicated space, but you end up being more efficient at home, less stress being at home.
You wouldn't think so
And
to listen to me. I'm in
but
a
then
bad mood today. It's probably
yeah,
not a good day for our first video, but you know,
it doesn't matter, dude. At least people naturally see who we are and stuff like that. But you
grumpy.
know, at the same time, it's just like you're more productive at home because you have less interruptions and stuff like that. And but you know, yet still a lot of people don't understand that working from home doesn't mean that you slack off. I mean, so look at you, you got dedicated space to work at home, a proper dedicated office and everything like that that you invested in. And that says a lot. Like actually my home setup is better than any setup that I've ever had at a permanent employee. I got two 27-inch monitors, right? LEDs. I've got better Wi-Fi at home. What else? Better toilet facilities and better coffee and better food. And you know,
I've never
people want,
felt sick going in my toilet.
eh?
I've never walked into my toilet and gone, no, and gone
Yeah,
out to find another one.
yeah, yeah. You had that bad, eh? So it's
Oh,
just like the thing is
I'll
that
never work in a
why do
retail
people
facility.
want to just force people to work from home? I mean, you say it's just like I mean, not work from home is what we want, but why work in the office?
Mm.
You know, and you can see it
It's
on
all,
LinkedIn. There's a whole debate about it where people are just saying, look, you know, who wants to work from home and who wants to work in the office? I mean, the thing is that you got people who are actually suffering from not working from the office because they're lacking like you know human contact and stuff like that. But I think those are people who may be not in a family.
yeah, again, depends on it depends on so much. And this is probably what is, this is what I don't like. I'm in a bad mood, so I'm going to go with the negatives here today. I appreciate that. This is
That's
what I
cool.
don't like about things like those LinkedIn posts, because I've seen them. I haven't responded to them because there's a lot of people that are like, oh, if you want to be seen and you want to keep your job, you go in the office, you work from home, you're going to get made redundant, you're not working. All right. Well, yeah, but also no. I mean, the job I'm doing now, and here you go, the people are going to shoot holes in the argument right now. They're doing a fucking podcast and they should be working.
But we just work more in the afternoon.
I'm having lunch. I work between 8 and 6. I take some time out for lunch, the toilet, coffee,
Yeah,
odd podcast, you know, a little bit of work on the side. You, contractors, right? You do more than one contract.
yeah, you got
I
it.
am doing multiple things. Nothing is suffering for that. I'm more productive. Couldn't do half of that stuff, and you'd lose me for half an hour every time I had to find a clean cubicle for a dump if I was in an office.
True that.
You know, so swings and roundabouts. Anyway, the reason I don't get involved in those conversations is because of the internet. And the problem with people on the internet is it's very, very black and white. You're for, you're against, you're right, you're wrong. There's no middle ground.
No.
Like you say, single person, living on their own, no social contact, life is miserable. They're going to want to go into the office. They're not going to want to, you are, you know, you live in a maisonette or a studio apartment. You are living, sleeping, working in the same environment. Everyone's saying, oh, COVID, don't go out, whatever. You know, your social life is gone. Your work life is very isolated. You're going to want personal contact, and that's completely understandable. Equally,
Yeah.
there are other people like yourself, like me, who are married, who have children, who relish the quiet time, like now, you know, where you're at home, you're not being nagged and no one's shouting for you to play with them or anything like that. And on that note, going on this on a tangent, these are the same people in these arguments on LinkedIn and other places who bitch and moan about parents getting special treatment to go and get kids from school or come in late because they drop. Well, we don't do that now because we're working from home. You don't see when we start late or when we finish early or when we come back and log back on, because we're not leaving the office and you're not going, ooh, look at him going half day,
Yeah.
which is what I've seen happen in offices a lot. because they're not doing that. It's not overt. You don't get to see it. And so more productivity from the parents. I mean, I'm very lucky. The school is 50 yards that way. So I can walk around. If I go and get my son at 3:30 or whenever, no one's going to notice I'm gone for 20 minutes.
True.
But, you know, in most offices I've worked in, it would take me more than 20 minutes to be moving in my car from leaving my desk.
Wow.
You know, you got to get out, you got to pack, you got to get down the lift, you got to walk across to wherever you got to go, you got to get out, you got to pay for the multi-story, you got to get out the multi-story, you got to go around the one-way system, and you're still in the town, you're in the wrong downtown, and you still got to get to work. Do you know what I mean? So huge amount of productivity gets lost there. And then that poor bastard, and I am swearing, I don't care, we can beep it, he's going to get home after all of that, and then log on and catch up with the work that the people who were, oh, he's not productive, he's left early, that they're, you know, they're not working now, they're finished.
Yeah.
And he's catching up, he's doing his hours, you know, and it's work from home, you don't have to do that. So much time is gained. And as long as people don't abuse it and they're doing things reasonably and they're not, you know, like taking 2 hours out to go and do the school run and not actually doing any work, it would work.
True.
That's my take on it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, also, it's just like, you know, it's hard being a parent, going to work, and finding the energy and the mental space to then study, to keep up with all the rest of the tech and everything of the sort.
Whole other can of worms right there.
Yeah, you know, so it's just like, because of COVID now, it's just like, you know, I can work, I'll spend a lot of time with the kids. And then, you know, I've passed like 3 qualifications or something like that since being at home. And, you know,
COVID cough.
Huh?
I said COVID cough.
COVID cough. But, you know, it's
not really. I'm joking.
No. I don't think I'll catch it from here.
I don't know. If COVID learns to use WhatsApp, everyone's fucked.
Oh, dude, could you imagine? And just forward that to like your 50 friends.
And smell-o-vision becomes a real thing.
Oh man, that'd be, man, Boris will love that. But yeah, it's just like, well, I mean, fair enough.
What,
I see.
you only watch TV in groups of 6?
I don't get that. Why just, I don't get that number. It's just like, why is 6 relevant, you know? I mean, there's some sort of scientific proof and stuff like that. Or somebody who said, duh, 6 is because of this. But it's like, you just might as well just say you're either socializing or you're not socializing, you know? Because that means, like, say, for example, if you've got COVID.
COVID cough.
Your relatives come over, your in-laws, they socialize with you, and they go, oh, just to let you know, we're going to somebody tomorrow. And you go to that somebody tomorrow. They then spread it to those people. Then those people who go socialize with somebody else. And it's like, dude, this just makes no sense.
It's what makes it so stupid. I mean, you know, the fact, like I said to you earlier today, I had some family round on Saturday for a special occasion. You know, it was a joint birthday thing. Not many people, 7 of us here in total, because 4 live in my house already. Illegal today. All right, on Saturday. COVID wasn't a problem on Saturday, but today you can be arrested for that. So we won't be doing that today.
Fined like £200, right?
It's just, well, I think 100 and it doubles, and it's just the whole thing is just anyway, stupid. But we're digressing. What was the point of this particular video supposed to be?
Dude, I think you're going for an interview, and we just
12
wanted in 12 minutes. We'll come off in 2, and it's just like, what do you do to prepare for an interview? It doesn't matter if it's contract or perm.
It doesn't matter whether you want it or not. I mean, I think the main thing is you need to understand, well, the fact, okay, so first of all, do you know who the company is? Do you know what the job is? Do you understand why you're interviewing? Are you just going through the motions of interviewing because you know you need a job and you want trying to land a job? You know, how you need to get your head in the right space. What's the role, you know? Get your head into, because, you know, we can apply for different things. You can do a support engineer, a DevOps engineer, you could do a designer or an architect role, you could do a consultancy role. So many things you could do.
Yeah.
So you have to get your head into the right space for what that role is. The next thing is obviously be focused on what the technologies are that they're focusing on in that role. So you may have expertise with it or history with it. You may want to brush up a little bit. So if you're asked questions, you can answer them. I mean, for me, this particular one, it's all quite vague. It's all just kind of Azure and Windows. And so from where I sit, I'm very much of the opinion that, you know, I know what I know. You know, I'm in the market. I do this for a living. Bring it. I'll answer the questions. If I don't answer them properly, if I don't know the answer to the specific thing, I'll always be honest about that. I'll always find out straight after the interview as well, fill in those gaps if there are any. But that for me is the prep. Just know what you're doing. There's a very good book. I don't know. Are we plugging books here? Are we telling people to go
Yeah,
and buy stuff?
dude. We tell people whatever.
I don't make any money from this.
It's not about the money. We helping people.
You told me to buy this book once upon a time. Do you remember 60 Seconds and You're Hired?
Yeah, I remember that. Sorry, I got a police car.
Yeah, I had a helicopter a minute ago. I don't know if that'll come through. 60 Seconds and You're Hired. It's out of print. It's been out of print for a very long time. I think you can still buy the Kindle edition.
Yeah.
I have a hard copy knocking around somewhere. Really useful book. A lot of it's not relevant, but as with every book, you go through it and there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of examples and stories and anecdotes and just crap that you don't need.
Yeah.
But the two main things that I took from that book are your 60-second sell. So being able to describe yourself and why you're the fit for the role in under a minute.
Yep.
And the 5-point plan. In other words, what are your 5 major selling points? And if you know your 5 major selling points, you have your 5-point plan. It takes about a minute to recite that. So you combine those 2 points into one, which is very, very, very powerful selling point for yourself, description of what you do, what you can do best. And then you have to do that multiple times through your interview. You want to be delivering that at least 3 times. Yeah. And if you take your points from the 5-point plan and you individually give them in different order, so like the answer to a question is very often a point from your 5-point plan. So you just keep pulling them out and replaying them in whatever order you need to do, whichever one is the most appropriate for the question that you've been asked. And I would say 9 times out of 10, I've probably had an offer where I've really prepared a good 5-point plan that's relevant to the role. And it's always got to be honest. It's got to be what you know, but where you're a good fit for that role.
Sure.
Or at least the job description that you've had is another topic for another day. State at some of them. But if the times that I've felt really confident that I know what this job is, I know I'm a good fit. I have my 5-point plan. I have my 60-second sell. Go in there and deliver it. And generally speaking, they're the ones that I think I've probably done the best in.
Yeah, I agree.
So that would be my main advice for anyone preparing. I'm actually having a Teams interview. I've just suddenly thought, I don't know if they're going to expect me to be on camera. I'm wearing not a particularly professional top. I might have to throw on a polo shirt beforehand. I won't put my Battlefield Vegas cap on with the picture of the helicopter and the man with a rifle on my forehead.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that'd be controversial, eh?
There you go.
Yeah.
Ready for my interview.
Oh, dude, you look very American with that hat on.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, I think that's good because it's just like that book, although it's like, 200 pages thick, maybe 168, I don't know. Point being is that those are the 2 things.
I'm going to find it now. If it's 168 pages, I'm going to be quite surprised.
Yeah, I don't know where my copy is, but yeah, it's just basically answering any question in 6 seconds or less. Why? Because when you're in an interview and people have so many interviews, their retention span is very, very small. And the feedback that I get from using that method is that, your communication is very good. So, that's good. Fine. For me, I use or addition to that is STAR, STAR, so situation, task, actions, results, where, people want you to, when you answer in that structure, people, like you get that classic, like, tell me a time that when you had to deal with somebody that was negative.
What?
Yeah.
I hate those questions. It's
but
such a lack of imagination.
It is, but and the reason why they ask you that is because HR tells people to ask you that sometimes.
Yeah. Well, they want to know how you're going to fit into a team and how you're going to deal with Dobby, who sits at the end of the desk, who they know has a personality disorder.
Exactly. And that's something we talk about next time, personality disorder. Because you got to admit, right, a lot of people who you've got, those, I don't know what you call them now. It's like your eccentric behavior that everybody's entitled to be whoever they want.
Everyone's eccentric.
Yeah,
in
people,
way.
Exactly. But it's when it comes to the point where it's like borderline, not
antisocial.
Antisocial behavior where it's actually is just accepted, and that person is not actually making the effort. But it turns out that the guy that sits in the back of the corner knows every single thing about your infrastructure or your environment, who fixes everything, and he's just quite happy just being there, and you just got to accept that. But sometimes you got to be able to be showing that you are sociable, acceptable sort of thing. Anyway, you got to interview in.
Well, they want you not to be the problem when you arrive.
Yeah.
You might be the perfectly normal one, and what's normal? But yeah, they don't want you to come in and upset the balance, which is completely reasonable. I mean, that's how it should be. I suppose it's good screening in that regard. But as I say, I find cliche questions like that to be, you got to stifle an eye roll, haven't you, when you get them?
Yeah. Anyway, dude, thank you very much.
4 minutes. I'm gonna go and prep. I don't know. Shall I change my shirt? Shall I just risk it?
Man, dude, if you gotta be accepted for who you are, they might even say, dude, you're hired because of the Mustang. Who knows? That's the thing. You just don't know. People just,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't. Well, you're wearing a polo shirt today. You never normally. We talk on Zoom, and you're wearing all kinds of weird shit normally. What's that?
Well, the thing is that when you don't wear your clothes for a while, they tend to deteriorate and rot. So these are shirts that I will wear at work.
Okay.
So what happens is that I just put them. I just wear them because if you don't wear them, they just rot to hell. So
See, I have the opposite problem in that I got lockdown fat, and a lot of my polo shirts didn't fit.
that's the other thing too.
I can put them on now, and they can't see the bottom half, so we should be all right.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Be like a fat girl's dating profile. Take it. We possibly should delete that bit too. Fuck, I'm going to get in trouble with this stuff.
Dude,
right.
This is not being deleted at all. This is goal. See you later.
I just like you intensely. Right. End the video. Catch you later.
Bye bye now.
Bye.